Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today I wanted to share kind of my 1 month update with my Amazfit T-Rex. So I've had this watch now for a good month, and I've used it kind of throughout some of my activities I typically do, and thought I'd kind of just give an overview how it compares kind of to the Phoenix 7. Now obviously it's not the best comparison in terms of watches, because obviously this one costs 4 times as much, but that's just what I have. So I'll kind of go through the three activities that I predominantly do, and then I'll kind of just give some closing thoughts. So the first one I want to talk about is weightlifting. So when it comes to strength training, um, I found it to be both the same. I mean, strength training is a pretty tough one to track from a heart rate perspective, just because measuring here is a bad place, because as you're tensing up your hands and muscles, lifting weights, sometimes hitting the watch, it can kind of be hard to get a good reading. And then you're also dealing with a lot of like highs and lows where you're resting and then you're exerting full pressure. So there's a lot of peaks and valleys with strength training. Um, this Phoenix has been the best watch I've used so far for that, and the Amazfit does keep up pretty well with it. So I do give it pretty good high marks when it comes to strength training. But where the Phoenix pulls away from this is that it can connect to an external heart rate monitor, which I predominantly use a lot because I'll put it on my, I'll wear one of those like forearm straps, like a skosh, and a lot of times I actually take my watch off because sometimes it gets in the way of my lifts. So that in itself gives the advantage to the Garmin being able to connect to an external rate monitor, and I can put this in my pocket or put off to the side so that the watch isn't getting in the way when doing some lifts. So that's kind of a miss for this one to not have that feature. But overall, I feel like they both could improve better. As far as like the app experience or the watch experience when it comes to strength training, so far I've found Coros to be the best one. These both try to do the exercise recognition, and they both do a pretty crappy job of it. Where Coros kind of lets you pick kind of which body part you're working, like upper body, lower body, biceps, triceps. And I found that to be much better. It takes a quick second to pick I'm doing biceps or I'm doing chest, and then I can actually go back in the app and reference that data. Both of these with their auto recognition, which is way off, never works, is useless. So I actually turn it off. So I feel like they both could actually improve in that area by at least letting you pick kind of what muscle group you're working versus trying to guess it. But overall, obviously the Garmin's the winner because it can connect to an external heart rate monitor. The next activity I do is elliptical, and elliptical is a piece of cake. I mean, I've been using these watches for years, and I've never really had an issue with elliptical. I mean, going back to like the early Fitbit days, and even like the Vivo Active Gen 1. I mean, all those I used to wear, and elliptical is a fairly easy one. It's a steady state cardio. There isn't a lot of jostling or moving around that would cause the watch to disrupt, because when the watch kind of shifts on your wrist, that can also impact accuracy. In elliptical, you're kind of in a very controlled movement, so it's a tie. They both do a good job there. The other activity I do is biking. So I've taken both of these on some biking trips. I think I've done about 3 or 4 like 10-mile plus trips with these, wearing both of these watches. And the one thing I noticed about the Amazfit is it's more top heavy. It's a kind of a taller watch. It's bigger. You wear it kind of higher, and I feel it jiggling on my wrist more than this one. And I think that jiggling does impact kind of the results because it has a hard time keeping track. So this one does tend to kind of swivel more on your wrist, being I think it's a little bit heavier or close, but I think it's just it's a thicker watch, it's a bigger watch, so it just kind of jostles more on your wrist. So the Garmin feels better on the wrist when I'm doing bicycling. And then of course also, again, having the option to use an external heart rate monitor also can be a benefit as well, because sometimes what I've done with this watch is I bought one of those little like handlebar, whatever you want to call them, and I actually just strap this watch to my handlebars, and I use it as kind of like a computer, a screen, and I wear a strap around my forearm. So I like doing that with this watch because then I can keep like my speedometer, my distance, all my stats kind of right and center versus always having to like check my wrist when I'm, bicycling. So I would say the winner of this one would be the Garmin as well. So those are kind of the three main activities I've kind of put these through. That's really all I do. I'm not like a, huge athlete. Those are really all I do is really strength train, and then I do some form of cardio, usually elliptical in the winter, or bike when the weather allows it. But when it comes to that, that's kind of my take on that. Now, overall, from just like the general watch wearing experience day to day, one thing that I've actually liked better about the Amazfit is the notifications on it. You can actually pick and choose which apps you want to notify you, which I think is awesome because there's just so many notifications on my phone that I don't really care for or need to be alerted, and the Garmin alerts you to everything. So whatever alerts your phone, you're going to see it here. Where the Amazfit, you can kind of toggle off which apps you want to see it for. So pretty cool there. I like that a lot. The other thing as well, which is kind of maybe not important to some, but I always find it important, is the charging cable. One, it's a magnetic, which is way better. You just, put it on without having to think about it. Where the Garmin's still sticking with this old school, you got to kind of push it in pin. But then the length. I don't know why Garmin is just gives these short charging cables. It's like the biggest pain in the ass. So here's the Amazfit. It comes all the way out here, and these are both plugged into the same charger. Let me see if I can even get the... No, I can't even get it to come on screen. Where's my thumb? There it is. So my thumb is about 3 inches from the cable, and this one goes out here. So it's, you basically got about a good extra foot with a Amazfit, which I think this is like the bare minimum it should be, because I think this is just long enough. It could be longer, sure, but this at least is usable. So again, small thing, but I don't know why Garmin gives you these ridiculous, crazy short cables. As far as the watch displays, this one's kind of a tough subjective one, to be honest, because there are times I like this AMOLED screen, and there are times I like this kind of memory and pixel screen. Really the rule of thumb is for outdoor viewing, this is king. Indoor viewing, this is king. Battery life, this is king, but this one, with the screen off is comparable. But both, honestly, the battery life on both of these is amazing. I seldom ever go to let it fall down, to be honest, because I top them off just between like watch changes. Like even this one is at 25%, and I'm probably going to throw in a charger now, if I wear this one. But honestly, I get a good week. I can go 2 weeks probably with both of these watches if I'm not really doing anything, just use them as a kind of just watches. But if I'm using GPS, working out, etc., it's hard to, I never actually formally measured it, but I feel like you can get 7 to 8 days of just like active use out of these things, like working out, using GPS, etc., checking messages. But overall, awesome. Just amazing battery life on both of these. The one thing though, the Amazfit could do better is the watch face department. You kind of get these pre-configured watch faces, which are okay, but I think they can do better. Like I love this Garmin watch face, especially with the touchscreen. I like how much data you can get in a very organized fashion. I don't like watch faces. Maybe it's subjective, where it's kind of splattered on a screen, right? There's no like organization to it. I kind of like how Garmin did it, just a circular with your main stuff on the inside, and I love that you can touch it. So you can just, anything you want to see, you just go right to it. Anything you want to see, you just go right to it. So by far the best watch face experience of any smartwatch I've used is Garmin. So overall, do I recommend the Amazfit? Without a doubt. I think it's an awesome watch. The price point is just incredible. These I think the MSRP is $230, but they go on sale often. Like I said, I got mine for like $168. It was on sale for $179, and there was a 10% coupon, so I think it knocked it out to one. So for $168, nothing comes close to $168 for this. So really good watch. For me, I'm just I'm a Garmin fanboy, and I mean the Fenix 7 has been the best watch I've ever owned or used by far. So obviously this is a much better watch. I would take this hands down, but I mean you're talking about 200 versus 800. So huge price difference here. So if you are if you're not attached to Garmin, you don't have you're not brand loyal, you don't have any data to I'm already in their ecosystem. Like if you don't really care, I mean this by far is the better watch to get. I mean the shortcomings that the Amazfit has are not that great to make up the big price difference. So I would without a doubt recommend this watch to anyone who's looking for a kind of just looking to get into the watch and they're not really needing all the craziness this one does. I mean, I don't even use a lot. I mean, I do 3 activities. This is way overkill for me, but for me, I just love the build quality. I love the titanium, just the compactness, all the data it tracks. So for me, it's worth it. I like them, but most of the time, if someone asks me for a recommendation what watch to get, I tell them this one. It's just that good of a watch. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about this one. I'm still disappointed it didn't get the maps. So there was an update that came out recently. It added routes, but you kind of have to upload them, and it's more just kind of like directions. You can't pull up a map and look on it. On the Phoenix, you can actually pull up a whole map and just explore around. Let me see, load a map here. I'm inside. Will you get it? Yeah, see, you can get a map and kind of explore around. And on the Amazfit, you can load a route, but it's not going to be like a true map would, where you can see kind of street names, etc. It just kind of give you I don't know if I can even do it on here. You'd have to load them in here, but let's see what we can do here. Yeah, I think it's gonna be hard to show, but basically all it does is give you like a route, turn left, but you're not gonna be able to see like a full-blown map. So if that's important to you, just something to think about. The only time I've only used the map on here once, but it's nice to have. It was when we were on vacation and we went to a small town and we were looking for a specific restaurant, so it was nice to kind of I obviously had my phone on me too, but it was easier to just pull up the watch and quickly glance to see where the street was that we were looking for. So small little cool thing to have. But again, overall, I highly recommend this watch. I continually recommend it to anyone who asks, what's a good watch to get. It's just nothing really bad to say about it. It's just a good looking, good watch. Really impressive at this price point. The only thing is yet to be seen is longevity. We'll see how long this lasts, because the Fenix watches are known to last for years. So that will be kind of the yet to be seen to see how well and how long this lasts. But I think that's pretty much it for this one. I can't think of anything else. But yeah, if any questions, let me know. And I think I'm going to close out kind of this watch for now, unless something new happens with an update. There really isn't any more I can say. So maybe, I'll probably do like a 1-year update just to see how this watch is held up. But otherwise, have a good rest of your day, and I will catch you on the next one.